Most welcome to the Voice of Evolution. My name is Preview, and working here day and night to bring the repair of our organic structure through the repair of the earth, turning into light earth, the repair of your organic biological construction, and so much more. So today, if we look at the tyranny going on, there is but one reason to it. If we want to bring through huge changes which are coming through anyways, then everything that is happening for many eons already needs to come to the surface, so you will be able to witness the higher levels of truth coming through and how everything moved into the division. I can see here Sasha Stone opening up with that Reclaim Your Life, the Millennium days going on right now, and I've heard or witnessed actually the work which Dr. Zach Bush has been doing with the repair, and so a lot of pain comes through because the only thing that really needs to repair, that needs knowledge and that needs a lot of work to bring through, is exactly to the breathing system, the respiratory system. I've been talked about so many times, yet it doesn't kick in because people do not do it. People are still in their old ways, the laziness, that ego consciousness that cuts them off from realizing what to do and bring the action through that needs to come in order to move beyond the division that is happening. Why the breath? The breath is your life stream, is your life force, is your chi, is whatever you term it. When that still streams on the old paradigm, on the old sinking ship actually, where you cannot breathe the purity of light realms through, then you breathe exactly the density, the atrocities of the earth. And so what you breathe is what your consciousness will be able to think or bring forth. And thus moving in to the reorganization of our organism is all there is to it, and that is moving into the new light body, because the earth is moving into its light body termed light earth. And when we do not match what we live upon, then the biological construction breaks into pieces and leaves the planet. That is in simple terms actually, but we can do a lot to repair, start preparing the soul in the first place, so we can open up the new food industry, new consumerisms. And you know, it's already good if you moved into a vegan diet, but that's not good enough because there is as much crappy food as in any other diet. That is all there is to it. A good thing would be just the release, the complete delete button to anything termed wheat, because that fucks the cells up in your body. And so as the earth is moving up and moving into light earth, actually if you look at the sky at night between the moon and the sun, you can see that we move and we upgrade fifth, sixth dimension already. And so it's all about us to at least move density free beyond the matrix or the atrocities of the electromagnetic. Why should anything be electromagnetic? Don't think about Tesla. If you move into, for example, Niagara Falls, and you stay there for one day in these falls, that would change your electricity big time. Yet nobody knows how important it is beyond the breath of light, the eternal breath, and upgrade that into the immortal breath needs also the water circulation of your body to move with it. So if we want to repair the soil, then we need to move with the Atlantic Ocean. We need to move with the Pacific Ocean. And especially what I got today is the technology of how to move into the bridges of light that moves between somewhere the antenna between Russia and Alaska, and that is the Antarctic Ocean, the bridge of light. Your immune system, the thymus gland, that actually moves the arc from the old earth into light earth. And when you can move that arc up and you move with that ocean, these oceans purify the body, and so they can move with the present preparation of the suns and the moons out there in space that are connected to our body. We are interconnected to everything, yet how many people do connect to all of that? And that is due to simple laziness and resistance to the unknown, actually. But there is no time left to bring through the exactitude of your breathing system, and that can only come true when bringing the repair kit through the entire glandular construction, to your bones, to the nervous system, to the water of your body, and then it will elongate your spinal column. Remember, your spine has all the nerves connected with the energy fields or wheels in the body. So moving that on the other side of the equation is not only moving in an eternal body, but especially the celestial bodies that holds your density negativity free at all times. And when you are there, you can download or ground all these celestial grids and become a grid embodiment where all those harsh forces cannot touch you anymore. And that is where we can start off the opening into the omni breath, actually. And that is big fun, because if you can kick in the omni breath. I mean, that at least takes 3 to 7 days of an overhaul. I'm repeating that. So loading yourself in 3 months of complete change in the body and environment. And that is where you become important, because if your breath uplifts and you can breathe many, many miles in circumference with the omni breath, and you lift up and you meet with many, many species in space, and you downgrade, you start to communicate with the elements, and you become the creator self that has changed the entire spinal column, that has turned the inversion of the spinal column in its correct position. And so with everything else in our biological construction, so no virus can ever hit you. And so people with lung diseases, heart diseases, water in the lungs, all that stuff that hits the organs, the liver, the pancreatic outlet, your root center, the sacral, the reproduction system, that all moves with your brain capacity. I mean, it's one big system that is interconnected, and when that is purified into the highest level, then you can interconnect with the systems that have been in the repair as well in the universe. So bringing planet Earth into its light composition is what is happening. And if you do not follow through, light Earth will kick you off, because you need to match the equal frequencies, and that is being asked of us. So repairing the soil comes with your co-creative capabilities, because if you work with the elements will work with you and will show you stuff that needs to be downloaded on the planet. And that is, in the first place, a lot of new foods, because there's hardly any food that feeds us anymore, right? Even though if you grow your own foods, etc., there needs a lot more to be done to that. Or if you have the knowledge how to place them in crystalline grids, even in your fridge in the house, then you're okay, but then you need to do it yourself, or as in a community. That would be great as well. So we're hitting these forest gardens, and I hope they're gonna spread wild with people as knowledge. So moving into a light body that is required today, so no more old stuff, that is opening the first two eyes in your brain centers in the first place. And then when you start crystallizing and crystallizing and becoming Christ consciousness, opening up in the Buddhic vibrations and up and up and up, you need that knowledge in order to be able to bring through what the elements, the soil, all those beautiful substances in the earth are asking you. And so that intercommunicative devices need to be opened up. So intercommunication and telescopic devices. So, and then that is where your life becomes interesting. So that is really great if moving all that stuff, let's say at least through a 7-day seminar, and teaching physicians, scientists, all those new production lines, and they move it all the way into their patients, and they move it all the way into their teams of light, and their teams of light move it all the way into their hood, and from that hood there is 2 or 3 suites that will move that all the way to a next conglomerate of 10 seeds, for example. That is how it grows. And therefore, why do we need to move from the eternal light body into the celestial body? Is because that is the capstone of creation, where you open up all the information and where you open up the renewed old scriptures and your antenna to your particular data all the way with your Wi-Fi station in the universe. And so let's say, to explain this a bit better, because it's so interesting, if we have a capstone, a triangle, and that is very well being installed, which I do in seminars. And so my brain connects to 4 other capstones, and these 4 other capstones are brain clusters, so to speak, expand each one of them into, again, 4 new brain clusters or capstones, and so it expands and expands from 4 to 8 to 16 and further on. And that is how we start to educate and can bring the huge changes through, when knowing how to repair the soul, knowing how to repair the densities and these volumes of tyranny going on, and these atrocities. These monsters of the universe will no longer be able to kick through a crystalline grid, because what it does is it squeezes underneath and above the matrix into pieces. And that is happening to those doing the work already, but we need a lot more people quickly in order to prevent the next wave of closures coming through. I have a feel in September. So I hope many people are willing to move into their original vibration and biology in the first place. So being ready to learn about your anatomy, you don't need to be a doctor or a physician or whatever, because we can learn quickly. And of course, for those who are scientists, physicians, they can open up volumes of ideas and knowledge with that, and moving even in the minuscule ideas with the elements, actually, because we need new food. So I've seen with my work underwater, especially in the Atlantic Ocean, I do this through meditation. I get the information, and elements flow me to certain places, show me that certain seeds are not on the planet right now for to heal a specific disease, for example, or something that is very, very beneficial for our health at the present moment in order to move forward. And so that's a lot of information. So during 7 days, I work continuously with teams of light, with many species, with all the kingdoms that are downloading on the planet and that are assisting us massively. So let's leave the complaint behind and bring through the solutions that are available right on a golden platter. So bring that through means you are willing to go through that big change, or you call forth your own source alignment at least, and knowing that's your source and spirit that has been broken through the dual means to birthing and soul consciousness needs to be downloaded in the body as well, along with the expansion of your spark cells and the thymus gland, your immunity. The immune system that is going to go to several plateaus of changes, as does your breathing system, as everything else in your atomic construction, so to speak. So that is so interesting, understanding that if the earth moves into light earth and you put the word light before everything you speak, then that already cuts down the density of the negative waves of the monster of the universe that are willing, or that are actually creating a so-called spiritual warfare. So we can stop that right now immediately, so nothing of those densities hits you anymore and kicks out the angers, the confusion especially, and the massive fear. Fear is nothing to be dealt with, it's something to delete from your glandular construction. That's all there is to it. Delete, eliminate, and take some time out for it. That's the way to do it. So the old psychology psychiatrists need some upgrades as well in teaching people that in an hour time you can delete a lifetime of fear, because that is doable and that's not hard to do. It only needs knowledge, technology, and light integrations. And when your body is there and is aligned to it, then you have everything to go actually. So that is how it works, and that is how we can clear out the oceans as well, how we can clear out the waters, how we can bring volumes of larger levels of vitamins and minerals back into our food. So I'd like to refer to Zach Bush here because he explains that a lot better than I can. So my specialty is rather how to get the light compositions with the elements back in your body, so you move into a light environment. And when your energy field with every breath moves many miles in circumference, and you place your focus on a certain area, no matter where or what or when, then you can bring through whatever you want. For example, if you have a company with extreme dense fusions, you can move an antenna of justice through their computers to people that are in the lowest of density, for example. You hold that, you breathe that through from your home base station. You don't need to be there even. If going there, that will be even stronger. Working with at least 3 seats, so 3 people, 3 sparks, going places and repairing all that stuff in the soil, repairing institutions, whatever. There is so much work to be done. So here is a call to move forward in a light biological organism that matches the light organism, and thus the reconstruction of all universes that is happening now needs that knowledge, at least with the new solar system, your new sun stream beyond the solar flares and moving up into the celestial body, the universal bodies, and knowing how to work with that. So it would be great to have a light university actually that would have at least the light rooms of everything in the present Milky Way and how it reconstruction, so people could move into these places just as to learn from light technology. So I think we're moving up there in these higher degrees of education, which every university should have at least, and to move people in the higher degrees of knowledge and intelligence, supreme, eternal intelligence that has been held back from us as well. So I hope there is more people willing to go there. I still have this 12 weeks, the eternal mastery out there. So that is an online that you can move through, and that already kicks in the eternal body, not yet the celestials or universals. So that is a lot of work. I have the celestial bodies as well online, and that is one of the most important healing sessions that you can do to move your glandular construction all the way up into the light composition, so you can work with it. What can you do? You can heal out anything you want. You can quickly heal out the lungs and bring, you know, if we go to the alveolus and the entire lung construction, and how that cracked down with the cracks that the earth has been experiences with densities, then we can quickly heal the entire circulation system, and that uplifts the body so much you get into higher degrees of fitness as well. So one goes with the other all of the time. So if you want to become a great healer, or a healer in hospitals, working together with physicians, with doctors, with scientists, that would be great. Even being a nurse, there is so much you can learn and learn and learn, and that brings the passion back in your body. Because if you can heal out severe diseases, especially moving through the water composition, the lymph nodes in the body, and the spinal, the cerebrospinal fluids, and the kidneys, of course. But then again, water moves everywhere to every organ in the body. And so when understanding how to move that with the oceans, the lakes, the rivers of light, and bringing your own river of light forces back in, that takes some time to do it. But then again, it brings you in your origin, your passion, and actually opens up new capacities in your brain and a new purpose in your life. I think purposes in life are globally changing as people leave the old atrocities behind. Thank you.